You are the richest and most powerful man on the face of the earth. Not one of the richest. The richest. Your empire stretches across almost the entire Indian subcontinent, encompassing well over 100 million subjects, and it generates a quarter of the entire world's economic output. You sit upon a throne made of solid gold, encrusted with so many diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and pearls that its value is almost beyond calculation, shaded by a jeweled canopy, watched over by two glittering golden peacocks. It is called the Peacock Throne, and it may be the single most valuable object ever made. Among your personal possessions are some of the most famous gemstones in the history of the world, diamonds whose names will echo for centuries. And across the river from your palace, a small army of craftsmen is raising, in pure white marble, what will become the most beautiful building ever constructed by human hands. A tomb for the wife you loved beyond all things. A monument of such perfection that it will still take the breath away from visitors 400 years from now. You are the Mughal Emperor of India, master of the wealthiest court the world has ever seen, and this is a day in your dazzling life, in the year 1650. Using advanced AI trained on the chronicles of the Mughal court, the accounts of the European travelers who visited and were astonished by its wealth, the surviving architecture and art of the empire, and the historical record of this golden age, we have reconstructed a day in the life of the Mughal Emperor. To understand your world, you must first grasp the sheer scale of the wealth and power you command, a wealth so great that it dazzled and astonished everyone who beheld it. Your dynasty descends from the greatest conquerors of history, and you rule an empire at the absolute height of its glory. Your ancestors came down from Central Asia, descendants of the world's most famous conquerors, and forged in India an empire that blended the cultures of the Persian, Islamic, and Indian worlds into one of the most brilliant civilizations the world has ever produced. Your empire is fabulously, almost unimaginably rich. The fertile lands of India produce abundant food and an enormous surplus of wealth. Your workshops produce the finest textiles in the world, cottons and silks so fine they are coveted across the globe, and India is the source of luxuries that the whole world craves: spices, jewels, fabrics, and craftsmanship of incomparable quality. Above all, your land is the source of the world's finest diamonds, for in this age, India is virtually the only place on earth where diamonds are found, and the legendary mines of your empire have produced the most famous gemstones in all of history. The wealth flows to you, the emperor, at the apex of it all, and the magnificence of your court is calculated to overwhelm and to awe, a deliberate, dazzling display of a power and a wealth without equal anywhere in the world. Your day begins at dawn with a ritual that fuses kingship with something close to divinity. Each morning, you appear to your people at a special balcony or window of your palace, high above a courtyard where crowds of your subjects have gathered to behold you. This appearance is a sacred ritual. The emperor showing himself to his people at the start of the day is a ceremony of profound importance, reassuring the empire that the emperor lives and reigns, and allowing even humble subjects to glimpse their distant, glittering ruler. Below, the people gaze up at you, a tiny, magnificent figure framed in the window, robed in silk and jewels, the master of their world. Then you descend into the business of empire. You hold court in a great hall of public audience, where you sit in state and the affairs of the empire are brought before you. Petitions, reports, disputes, appointments, the administration of a realm of 100 million people. Your court operates with an elaborate system of ranks and honors, every nobleman and official assigned a precise place in the great hierarchy, all of it flowing down from you, the emperor, the source of all rank, all wealth, all authority in the empire. And then there is the throne and the jewels, the heart of your court's legendary magnificence. For your most splendid audiences, you sit upon the Peacock Throne, commissioned at staggering expense, a creation so lavish it beggars description. It is made of solid gold, its steps and pillars encrusted with thousands of precious stones, diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and pearls, surmounted by a jeweled canopy and adorned with the figures of peacocks whose spread tails are rendered in glittering gemstones. European visitors who behold it are struck dumb with amazement, declaring it worth a sum that staggers the imagination, more valuable, perhaps, than any single object ever crafted by human hands. And the throne is only the centerpiece of a treasury of fabulous gems. Among your jewels are some of the most famous diamonds in all of history, stones of enormous size and legendary beauty, whose names and journeys across the centuries will become the stuff of legend, fought over by emperors and conquerors for generations to come. You wear jewels in profusion on your turban, your fingers, your arms, your robes, a king who walks in a blaze of gemstones. The wealth of your court is not hidden away. It is worn, displayed, and flaunted, the visible, dazzling proof that you are the richest monarch on earth. Your palaces and gardens are designed to be a paradise on earth, and the comforts of your daily life are exquisite. You live in magnificent fortified palaces of red sandstone and white marble, with halls open to cooling breezes, intricately carved screens, inlaid floors, and walls decorated with precious stones set into the marble in delicate floral designs. Your palaces are graced with gardens laid out in the Persian style, formal gardens of perfect symmetry, divided by channels of flowing water and fountains, planted with fruit trees and flowers, designed as an earthly image of paradise, where you can walk, rest, and enjoy the cool of the water and the scent of the blossoms. Water is a luxury and a delight, channeled through your palaces in runnels and fountains and cascades, cooling the air and delighting the eye and ear. Your meals are feasts of extraordinary refinement. The rich, spiced cuisine of the Mughal court, dishes of meat and rice and fruits and sweets perfumed with saffron and rosewater, served on plates of gold and jade and fine porcelain in dazzling variety. You are entertained by the finest musicians and poets of the age, for your court is a great center of art, of exquisite miniature painting, of poetry, of music, a place where beauty and refinement are cultivated to the highest possible degree. But the wealth and the splendor are not the deepest thing in your life this year. The deepest thing is grief and love and the building of the most beautiful monument in the world. For you have lost the great love of your life. Your beloved wife, your constant companion, the woman you cherished above all others, has died, and you have been plunged into a grief so profound that the chronicles say, your hair turned grey, and you withdrew from the pleasures of the world. And out of that grief, you have conceived and commissioned the greatest act of architectural love in human history. Across the river from your palace, you are building her tomb, a mausoleum of pure white marble, perfectly proportioned, crowned with a great dome, flanked by slender towers, set within a vast garden of paradise, reflected in a long pool of water. Tens of thousands of workers, the finest architects and craftsmen and artisans from across your empire and beyond, labor for years to raise it. The white marble is inlaid with precious and semi-precious stones in flowing floral patterns. The whole structure is a poem in stone, a vision of perfect, serene, heartbreaking beauty, a monument to a love that death could not end. It will become known as one of the wonders of the world, the most famous and beloved building ever made, and it stands even now as you watch it rise, as the supreme expression of both the staggering wealth of your empire and the depth of a single human heart's grief and love. Yet beneath all the glory, the dynasty carries its poisons, and your own family is a nest of ambition and danger. For the Mughal succession knows no peaceful rule. There is no settled law that the eldest son inherits. Instead, when an emperor weakens or dies, his sons fight one another for the throne, often to the death, in brutal wars of succession. You yourself came to power through such struggles, and you know that your own sons even now are watching you, watching each other, building their factions, preparing for the day when they will fight among themselves for the right to sit upon the Peacock Throne. This is the dark engine at the heart of your magnificent empire, that its very glory makes the prize so great that brothers will slaughter brothers to win it, and that the throne is almost always purchased in the blood of the royal family. And so your own story will end, in time, not in peaceful retirement, but in tragedy. One of your sons will defeat and kill his brothers and seize the throne, and will imprison you, the aging emperor, confining you for the rest of your life in a fortress, where, the legend says, you will spend your final years gazing out across the river at the white marble tomb you built for your beloved wife, waiting to be laid to rest beside her at last. The richest man on earth, ending his days as a prisoner of his own son, with nothing left but the view of his masterpiece of love and grief. That was a day in the life of a Mughal emperor, master of the richest court the world has ever known. An emperor who ruled over 100 million subjects and a quarter of the world's wealth, who showed himself to his people each dawn like a living sun, who sat upon a throne of solid gold and jewels worth a kingdom, who owned the most famous diamonds in history, who lived in marble palaces among gardens of paradise, and who was entertained by the finest art, music, and poetry of a brilliant golden age. And an emperor whose deepest legacy was born not of conquest or wealth, but of love and grief. The most beautiful building ever made, raised in pure white marble as a tomb for the wife he could not live without. The Mughal court was the dazzling summit of a civilization, a fusion of worlds, a blaze of wealth and beauty without equal anywhere on earth. But it carried within it the seeds of its own sorrows, the brutal wars of succession that turned brother against brother, the imprisonment of an old emperor by his own ambitious son. The Peacock Throne would eventually be carried off as plunder and broken up, its jewels scattered across the world. The famous diamonds would pass through the hands of conqueror after conqueror. The empire itself would, in time, decline and fall. But the white marble tomb still stands, perfect and serene, reflected in its long pool, the most beloved building in the world, the eternal monument to the richest emperor who ever lived, and to the wife he loved enough to build her a wonder of the world.